Hello, my name is Liz Schlemer, and this is a video for IME 315, Financial Decision Makings for Engineers at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. This particular video is about equity and stock price. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to understand the stock price from the accounting point of view and from the stock market point of view. So what we're going to be doing is these 5 items are the things we're covering in IME 315. And today I'm going to be talking about reporting and managing profits, and then also personal financial decisions. So when we've talked before, when you looked at the video on balance sheet, we talked about the general accounting equation, where the assets, or the things that a company uses to generate income, have is equal to the ownership of the company. And there's 2 kinds of ownership. One is debt, and often thought of as a bank who loans money to a particular entity. And then the ownership part, which is also called equity. Now, the way we look at this is we look at the equity portion, and this is related to stock price. So a company, if they're going to be a publicly traded company, what they do is they take this ownership portion, or the equity portion, and they divide it into a whole bunch of pieces. And each of these little pieces of the equity is equivalent to a share or a stock price. So the words stock price and share are going to be the same, interchangeable in this analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through looking at the balance sheet information that we can find on Yahoo Finance to calculate the stock price for GM and see how that accounting representation compares to the stock price as it is traded in the stock market. So the way we're going to do that is we're first going to look at General Motors and look at the data that's on Yahoo Finance for General Motors. So I Googled Yahoo Finance, and I'm going to have a couple screenshots here. And I looked at GM, so I looked particularly for that company. And I clicked on the financials that we're going to be looking at, which are the accounting reports. And if you see down below, we have the 3 accounting reports: income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. The things that we've been talking about related to accounting. And so we're going to look at the balance sheet one. So we're going to click on that. And then we scroll down a bit and we see all of this data associated with the equity portion, or the asset portion. And I'm going to particularly look at this particular total stockholders' equity. So in our little diagram previously, that would be the blue section of that accounting representation. So this data is in thousands, so that's $38 billion of equity for General Motors. The next thing we're going to look at is the number of shares. So remember, I said they take that value and we divide it by all the shares outstanding. So the place where we're going to see that is by looking at the statistics here, again on the Yahoo Finance. And we're going to scroll down and look for outstanding shares outstanding. So you can see there's 1.42 billion shares outstanding. Now that's a lot of shares of General Motors. So that particular company is divided into a whole bunch of little pieces. And so what we have now is we have the equity value at 38.86 billion, and we have the number of shares at 1.42 billion. So we take that total dollar amount and divide it by the number of shares to get a per share price for that. And then when we do that, we get $27.37 per share. That's the value of a particular share of stock, according to the assets, to the balance sheet, the things that generate income for the company, less the debt that's owed to banks. So let's see how that particular number compares to what the stock market is representing for GM. So General Motors is trading, and this is a couple days ago, at $35.13 a share. And it's a little bit off the $27.37. But if you remember about accounting, this makes a lot of sense because this is very old data, right? GM's a very old company, and we only record dollar values. and we only do it historically. So when it was recorded a very long time ago, we have that in there. And it doesn't represent any potential for the particular company. So if you did this kind of analysis for a company like Tesla, you would have a very, very different price, because much of Tesla's value has to do with the potential growth of it, not the historical data. Now, I particularly chose GM because it's not that far off. The accounting number is not that much different than the stock price. But I'm going to ask you to do this calculation for the company that you chose, and you'll see it's probably going to be quite a bit off, because mostly it is off. So when you do that analysis, we'll look at how far away that is. So if we go back again to the things we covered, we're looking at reporting and managing profits, and also personal financial decisions.